we are all human and no one is immune to bad things happening. That might be something in your business starts going sideways, a relationship breakup, other life circumstances happen and they can throw you off course. It's not about whether or not you're going to get thrown off track. That's going to happen. It's about how quickly you come back into alignment and action with the thing you're meant to be doing. This is where coaches and masterminds, especially ones that really hold you accountable, come into play. What you're building isn't just a brand, it's the work and story God trusted you to carry. Welcome to Heard in Heaven. I'm Rae Irelan, best-selling author, global speaker, and co-founder of Evolve Podcasting, where our clients have reached over 3 million downloads. This show is where Holy Spirit revelation meets CEO execution. So your message doesn't just inspire, it multiplies. It's time to speak with fire, shake the earth, and be heard in heaven. If you are someone who is waiting on something because your platform is not polished, it's not perfect enough, you don't feel like your message is totally worked out, you're not sure of something, and so you're holding back, you're waiting, you're in that pause moment, this episode is for you. I want to break down some of my most successful launches that I've had, whether that's been launching a course or a program online, a live event, a book, a podcast. I've done a lot of these launches and I want to break down sort of the myths and the secrets around what worked and what didn't work. So if you are in that season where you know you've already been given the guidance by God, or even you've been given the guidance by other people asking for that thing that you know you're meant to do, you know you're meant to put it out into the world, and yet you haven't yet, let's spend the next minutes together and let me break this down for you so that you can have a really successful launch and have it happen like tomorrow, maybe not tomorrow, but not in a year, not in 5 years down the line. All right. So let's go into my podcast launch, launching Heard in Heaven. This is one of those things where I got the idea, I got the guidance, I heard from God, this is what you got to do. And this year is all about building impact driven podcast. And I want you to launch 100 Kingdom podcasts. That's what I heard from God. And he said, you know what you're going to do is you've been behind the scenes for too long. You've been helping everyone else do their podcasts and you haven't done yours. And at that point, it had been about 1.5 years of me not having my own podcast. Prior to that, I had my own podcast since 2018. So I had gotten in the groove. I had done it. I've released over 200 episodes and I hadn't been in the driver's seat. I was coaching and helping others. And so I just heard very clearly, this is the strategy. You're going to do your podcast and you're going to talk and connect with people. Other things, but I don't need to go into those other ones. But basically it was do it, right? So what happened? I started gearing up, getting everything ready. I was like, let's go. I'm so excited. I was telling people, and then I broke my leg. Now, there's other episodes. You can go check out the story around breaking legs, breaking bones, so much resiliency and just so many amazing lessons and wisdom came out of that experience. And yet, let's be real, that was not an easy breezy thing. I would never wish that upon anyone else. And in that season, I did stop. I stopped everything. And you might be thinking, well, yeah, of course you did. You broke your leg. But here's what I want to say is that you might not have a broken leg situation, but I know we are all human and no one is immune to bad things happening, right? So that might be something in your business starts going sideways, a relationship, a breakup, other life circumstances happen and they can throw you off course with the thing that you know you're meant to be doing. Of course, I got thrown off track, but here's the thing. It's not about whether or not you're going to get thrown off track. That's going to happen. It's about how quickly you're going to recover and come back into alignment and action with the thing that you know you're meant to be doing. This is where coaches and masterminds, especially ones that really hold you accountable come into play. I've gotten so much done and have had so much success in my life because during those seasons of hardship, I've been in containers and been around people that lift me up out of it quicker than I could have crawled myself out of it. I actually like to have this visual of someone like reaching down into this pit of doom that I've found myself in. And I know we've all been there before. And they literally pull me up, right? They lift me out of that and dust me off and say, okay, Rae, keep going. We need to have, and you need to have people in your lives that are going to be that for you. So whether you need to set it up, whether maybe you have besties from kindergarten that you can rely on like that understand where you're at, or maybe you need to go join a mastermind and meet like-minded people that are really invested in their growth and AKA invested in each other's growth too. Get that support so that way you can get through those times. So that's what happened, right? I fell down, literally broke my leg. I had people pulling me out of that pit. And it wasn't just once. Like sometimes we need like multiple hands coming down and like pulling us up out of it every day. But there was a faster recovery time where I was able to then launch Heard in Heaven, what you're hearing, and do it. And the funniest thing was, as someone who has a company that helps others in launching successful podcasts, making them monetize, building communities, there's a little extra pressure there. And as everything played out, it was like everything started to crumble just a week before launch. And I'm like, wait, what happened to the episode I recorded? What happened to this? No, these are the wrong links. Like everything that could have happened wrong happened, to the point where I was even a few days in, there was a few days until launch, and I had already been promoting, hey, I'm about to launch. I had this launch group. I was getting all this great feedback, and all of a sudden just this cloud of imposter came over me. And I really felt I might not launch this. I don't know if I actually should. I think this might be a waste of time. Are people even really going to listen to this? Because even though I have this whole like piloting group, and if you're listening and you want to have a really successful launch, make sure you do a piloting group. Maybe I'll do another episode on that. But even still, it felt like I'm alone in this and I'm just like throwing myself out there and it feels scary. And what about this title? I don't even like it anymore. I just went through every single thing. The description needs to be changed. I don't like the background. Just you name it, I thought it. And there were so many moments where I felt like I was just under attack to not launch this podcast, not put it out there. And it got to the point where I even was about to release the shows. It was the day before. And Sammy comes to me and he's, you're not going to do that one episode. That was just a practice. I'm like, that wasn't a practice. That was the first episode. What do you mean? It's not really landing. You didn't really do the formula that we like teach people to do to have it be a good story, and you're missing the mark, but it's fine. And I'm just sitting there, I just start crying. I'm like, no, like even my biggest supporter is saying, no, don't launch it. And so last minute, I go to my team, and shout out to amazing teams. You got to have a great team. And the more that you can be invested fully into your podcast, the better it's going to be. You don't want to put half intentional stuff out onto the internet. You do want to have it like feel really good. So I go to my team. I'm like, okay, scrap the first episode. We got to start with episode number 4. I know it's not even edited yet, but we're releasing tomorrow. Can you guys do it? Anyways, we pulled it together, and thank you to my team who helped me, who dealt with all my crazy. We pulled it together. We switched a few episodes around, and boom, it got launched. And I was like, where's my hoodie? I just want to hide. I don't even want to hear feedback. And you know what? And at the end, it was like, it's a 48-hour thing. I tell this to every client that launches their podcast. And really, I used to tell this to my clients when they were launching like a new course, a new program online. So give yourself that 48 hours and just go in your hoodie, because whatever you want to do, whatever you want to change, whatever you want to fix in that 48 hours probably doesn't need to be fixed and changed. It's probably just you needing hoodie time, which means there's a little bit of a vulnerability hangover happening. And just go in your hoodie, get in your cozy blanket, just chill, wait out the storm, because you need to just put things out there and watch and let them flush through. No one is expecting you to be perfect except for maybe yourself, right? And I mean, recovering perfectionist over here, but there is nothing better than a good launch to work on that perfectionism. So if you can really take on that mindset of, I'm just going to work on my perfectionism here and I'm just going to put it out there, then what do you have to lose? Especially if you're here. I already know that the launches that you have coming up, they were downloads, they were gifts from God, they were guidance from God. Take those seriously. You don't want to just sit and wait on them, which brings me to my second story. Launch this podcast. It's been amazing since. You guys have been on the journey with me. Hey, shout out to the listeners. Thank you for tuning in. And more so, thank you for sending me messages, letting me know how these episodes are landing for you, what you want to hear more of, what you want to hear less of. I love those. And I really love creating true, real connections with you guys. So send me a message, go find me on Instagram. But yeah, it's been an amazing journey. And guess what? Even after I launched, like I wanted to again take down those first few episodes, I waited it out. I put the hoodie on, I got inside, and they're great. I leave them up. People comment on them all the time. So you're never going to know like what can happen when you launch something if you don't launch. You have to put it out there. And say, worst case scenario, I always go into this whenever I'm doing something new or launching something. I'm like, okay, I love visioning. I love putting it out there like the best case scenario. But what's the worst case scenario here? Let's just check our bases. And that's just part of my personality, but I like to do that. And so I just sat with it. I'm like, what is the worst thing that could happen if a launch flops? You learn, you fail forward. And that is what being an entrepreneur is all about, right? We got to build up that endurance to be able to move through the failures. So whether that's an unhappy client or customer, someone that's talking smack about you on the internet, something that totally you feel like totally fell apart and it was your responsibility. Okay, how am I going to fix it? You got to go into solution instead of staying in that stuck place of blame and guilt and shame. Girlfriend, I've been there. It doesn't take you anywhere. And the sooner that you can either, again, crawl yourself out of that doom hole or get someone around you to pull you out, the sooner the better, because we don't know how long we have on this planet. Let's just be real. Let's bring it down to that. You don't know how long you have. So launch the thing, put it out there. And if you have a terrible launch, just get over it. Brush yourself off, put on your best dance music, have 48 hours of hoodie time, and move on and do the next thing. Launch the next thing. So I'm going to backtrack it a little bit more because I think you guys like these. I don't even want to call them success stories because they actually feel a bit like the fail forward stories. But I like to break it down because I know that sometimes we can have this perspective that, if someone's showing up online and they're consistent and like pretty pictures and pretty branding, which I love myself some pretty aesthetics, right? But that doesn't mean there's a perfect life going on. So I'd like to just bring all these stories to the forefront. If you're loving this conversation and it's sparking something inside of you, maybe it's time to share your own voice with the world. That's exactly why we created the Podcast Accelerator, to help leaders like you go from hidden to heard with a podcast that connects, inspires, and actually grows your business. We launched together in just a few months, and you'll have the system, support, and strategy to keep scaling and growing. Doors are open now, so the link to apply is in the show notes. We cannot wait to see you in there. And so let's go back to the good old Blame It on My Soul book launch. Okay, this one hits home because this was a book that I spent 5 years writing. Now, if you're an author in here, send me a message. Let me know the book that you either already have out. I'll shout you out on my social media, or let me know the book that you're working on or the idea that you have. I want to hear these. Anyways, it was one of those things. It was about 10 years ago, a decade ago, I got into the biggest car accident of my life. Pretty sure I've done an episode on this. It was one of the first like 5. Biggest episode, near-death experience. And during it, on the other side of it, Yeah, I went to jail. So that was a whole thing. You can read about all this in the book, right? Or you can listen to the podcast. But I knew that I was going through that experience to share the story, to empower myself through the journey. But I knew it was going to become multiplied and really impact many lives. So I knew right from the start, you're going to write a book about this. So it was 10 years. It took me 5 years of just sitting with that guidance and doing everything else besides doing that. And I won't say everything else because I still was sharing online the story. And actually, I ended up really building my business off of it, talking about the themes that I walked through and worked through, and the guides and the people that came into my life to help me really process what happened. But I knew I still was sitting on this one piece of instruction, which was write a book, share the story in that form. And so it took me 5 years until I started it. And it was actually a book coach that came to me who knew my story. Shout out to Jim House. This episode has lots of shout outs. I'm just feeling that celebration vibe. So, Jim House, the book carver, you can go check him out online. He helps mostly celebrities get their books out. And he came to me and he said, "Look, I know your story. Like, you got to write a book about this. What are you doing?" And after a little bit of a tug of war, I finally said, "You're right. I know. I've been thinking about this for 5 years and I haven't done anything. Okay, let's do it. Let's work together." So he helped. He pulled that story out of me. We wrote a book, and I was so excited to launch once the book was done. And I had a launch party plan. I had a whole 3-month build up marketing plan, like all of the things, right? I had my podcast already going for a few years. So that was like, I had traction, I had an audience, I had a little community. And you know what happened? I got pregnant. And let's be real, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. But of course, that book launch would hit right in the middle of that first, second trimester where I was sick all day long, all day, all night. It was just rough. I had a really hard pregnancy and literally vomiting sick. And that 3-month pre-launch promo, everything that I've been working on, building up, visualizing for over 5 years now, or I guess, yeah, it was over 5 years. It just sizzled away. It went into the background. I was fully encaptured by becoming a mom and all the things I had to do and just staying awake. And yeah, you moms know. And it was so funny because I still went through with it. I still went through. I'm like, okay, good job, Lil Rae. You did it. I launched the book. I had no pre-launch stuff. There was no launch party. There was very little. It was mostly like, oh, can I even move this finger to push send and go? And it went out. And that day, I remember I was just crying and I was in my PJs. I was at my parents' house. I was just in my PJs crying. And the only thing I could eat that day, all day, was pizza. Yeah. So I'm like, "Sammy, I need another pizza." And I'm getting sick. Oh, it was just so bad. And then we start seeing the numbers and notifications roll in. And I start seeing that I'm still getting top of chart. Oh my gosh. All of a sudden I'm Amazon bestseller in a category. Oh my gosh. All of a sudden in 3 categories, in 5 categories. Now I'm next to Eat, Pray, Love, which was one of my big inspirational books that I wanted to write about, these travels and journeying and soul discovery, that type of stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, I literally got a screenshot of my book being right next to Eat, Pray, Love. And the book ended up being top bestseller internationally in over 13 categories. I was blown away. I was like, I really did not expect that to even happen. Started getting messages in, phone calls, new clients, all of the things. And it was so amazing because in that, I needed less hoodie time because I had already been in hoodie time. Pregnancy, especially in the beginning. For me, with Rafa, it was like I was in hoodie time 24/7. So I didn't need as much of that. I actually needed that encouragement and to realize, wow, if I wouldn't have just put it out there in a surrendered state of being, I'm just going to put it out there for whoever wants it, whoever needs it. Just hopefully this inspires one person, that type of mindset. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't have hit those incredible accolades. And accolades is like totally not even the word I want to use, because it's really souls. It was like, oh my gosh, like these are all souls that are buying this book and reading and like getting curious and wanting to learn more about God and transformation and impact. And so it was just the coolest thing. And so I share that because I really didn't think it was going to go anywhere. And again, I would have never known. So, what is that thing for you? What is that thing that you are just sitting on that, and maybe you have even been working on it for 5 years? I pray that's not you, because that was a long time to be in the process. I like to do short, simple projects now, even if it's a book. And I want to let you know this episode's actually perfect timing, because when I broke my leg, to tie this whole thing together, when I broke my leg, I was like, okay, it's going to be a little hard to do a podcast because I look crazy because I am not showering because I couldn't go upstairs and I couldn't get my leg wet for 3 months. Sob story complete. Okay. But I was like, you know what? There's something that I haven't been doing and I haven't been obedient with yet. And it's really easy to go in your life, right? And do all the things. And if you're an entrepreneur, you're like clients and business and family. I'm just trying to get some self-care time, right? Like it can be a lot in a full plate, to the point where you can actually forget about those really specific guide points that God has already given you and said, hey, do this. So that was my moment. The leg broke, laying in bed, actually on the couch. I couldn't even get up the stairs, but I'm like, okay, can't do the podcast, can't really coach or do much, but I can do that thing that God told me to do 2 years ago, which is rewrite and do version 2 of Blame It On My Soul. Now, I have since Blame It On My Soul has been released, when I was pregnant, I went through a really beautiful gosh, what do I want to say? The most impactful journey that I have ever been on transformationally, which was meeting Jesus and developing a relationship with him. And so when I gave birth to Rafa, that's when Jesus came back into my life, into Sammy's life. And a lot of things shifted. A lot of my perspectives around transformation and personal development and all of that stuff changed. And I was like, uh-oh, what am I going to do? I have a book out that is a bestseller. It feels like it's actually missing that piece. It's missing this completion where when I had my car accident, and this is where the book starts, is me going to jail right after it. The reason why I chose to stay alive when I had this God encounter, and God said, do you want to stay or do you want to leave? Do you want to go to the afterlife or do you want to stay here on earth? He flashed and showed me family and business and kids and marriage and impact. He showed me all of this. And it was such a full circle moment when I am now living that life, and praise and glory to God, because I needed Jesus. I did. And so to tie that into the story, I was like, that's what needs to happen. So God told me that 2 years ago when Rafa was around, like he was just like 6 months old. And I was like a baby Christian. I'm like, I don't know if I should share this. And how does this work with everything else? And it took me 2 years to sit with it. So I also want to make sure that if you're listening to this, I don't want you to feel any shame or guilt with what has happened or how long something has been going on, how long you've been sitting with some just sitting, waiting for that perfect moment, because it happens to all of us. And it was just the coolest thing, though, to wrap it up and complete it. And so you're listening to this episode. The book, Blame It On My Soul, version 2, is about to come out. It's so amazing. And there's such a opening that gets to happen. And this is what the last thing I want to share is just the opening that is possible that happens when you're on the other side and you say, yes, I did it. God, give me more. Like I am ready to receive new guidance, new wisdom. What is next for me? So that's what I pray for you guys today. And I'm going to do it on our prayer here this week. But just dive in and really get real with yourself. Take this time. What is the thing that I've been waiting on, sitting on, that I know God wants me to do? There's going to be something so incredible there for you. God has amazing plans for you and everything that you're creating. Your voice carries weight, not just for today, but for eternity. If this episode stirred something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, speak it, let it ripple. If you're ready to launch a platform that amplifies your message and multiplies your impact, I'm here to help. Start your journey with the link in the show notes down below. Subscribe, leave a review, and remember, when you speak with fire, you don't just shake the earth, you echo in heaven.